Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you until 7 o'clock tonight. We hand off to the great one, Mark Levin, at that time. Thank you for being with us. Big news. It is a big rumor that is swirling about the community, and a lot of different news outlets have it. I was made aware of this last night. Well, we all heard the suggestion that the Boring Company, run by Elon Musk, might be interested in digging a tunnel between B&A Airport and downtown Nashville. And I'll be honest with you, when I first heard it, I thought, well, that's never going to happen. I mean, that's just not reality. Well, apparently it is becoming reality, if any of the rumors that we're hearing are true, that Elon Musk, well, he will not be here. It's my understanding that Elon will not be a part of the announcement. If my sources are correct, the governor and other state officials are preparing to announce an agreement made in principle with the Boring Company that would involve state property, would involve a singular route from B&A to downtown. And they are hopeful that eventually the city will get on board and allow for other routes to be designed as well. But sadly, the city is not on board as of yet. It's my understanding that this would include no taxpayer dollars up front or otherwise, and that it would be a route not to be used by regular traffic, but to be used by Tesla vehicles, electric vehicles, that would charge you a nominal fee to go from the airport to downtown and back again, much like an Uber ride or a Lyft ride, keeping those vehicles off the streets. 615-737-9986 if you have any questions or any thoughts on that. Obama and the Obama administration, according to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in her release of well over 100 documents, there is evidence provided of what they describe, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, describes as a treasonous conspiracy directed by Barack Obama weeks before he was due to leave office. According to Gabbard, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's an issue so serious it should concern every single American. This is a quote from Gabbard. What we saw here, as the documents we released to detail, was a sitting president of the United States of America and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president and commander-in-chief of the United States. So they decided that they would do everything possible to attempt to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked Donald Trump to do. Gabbard's key finding is this, that in December of 2016, after Donald Trump won the presidential election, intelligence officials in the United States government prepared an assessment. And that assessment found that Russia did not have the capability and did not affect the outcome of the election. That is, Russia did not hack voting machines and did not have some power to actually change the results and did not impact the results of the election. However, this assessment was withdrawn by the Obama administration based on, quote, new guidance, end quote. That was on December 8th. The very next day, according to the documents released by Gabbard, top intelligence officials, including James Comey, the director of the FBI, John Brennan and James Clapper, the director of national intelligence and the director of the CIA, respectively, all convened at the White House the next day after they pulled this report that said Russia had nothing to do with this. There was no collusion. There was no there. They all went to the White House, where Barack Obama himself directed them to reach stronger conclusions about a Russian election meddling conspiracy. In summary, just before Obama was to receive a briefing that contained no reference to Russian interference, the briefing was called off, and a high-level meeting of White House security officials was convened, after which Obama himself told them to create a new assessment. that would lean into a more aggressive conclusion that Russia was involved, even though that conclusion had to depend on the Steele dossier that was already debunked. Although the new effort was to be directed by James Clapper's office, the critical job of divining Russia's motive would be given to the CIA and John Brennan. So a daily presidential briefing was postponed in order for Obama to direct his senior officials at his request to try to find evidence that Vladimir Putin tried to help Donald Trump in the election. And what they came away with was the Steele dossier, which was known to those same intelligence officials to be phony. Is everyone following this? And out of that assessment came a 2.5-year investigation into the Trump administration. Special counsel, the removal of, ultimately Jeff Sessions lost his job as Attorney General because Jeff Sessions acquiesced to a special prosecutor at the demand of the Democrats who were leaning on this intelligence assessment that we now know was bogus from the beginning. And it was all designed to remove Donald Trump from office. That's my belief. That every bit of this was designed to create enough smoke and enough fire that the liberal Democrats could demand impeachment investigations and an impeachment inquiry and eventually get him removed from office. Thankfully, that failed. They tried twice during his first term. And the most disgusting part of all of this is happening right now, because the mainstream media refuses to cover any of it right now. And they ran with this story for 2.5 years. These disgusting scumbags ran with this story that the Obama administration and Brennan and Clapper, they had them on their shows every night. And James Comey, too. And Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, all of them. Andrew McCabe's still on CNN, and he's a scumbag that needs to be in jail, too. Every night of the first 2 years of the Trump administration, you'd find one of these you-know-whats on your television declaring to the American people that Donald Trump wouldn't be president but for Russia, and that the Steele dossier was real, and that there was election interference, and it was engaged in at the request of and at the approval of the Trump people. Well, you and I have known this for a long time. But now we have the receipts. And the same mainstream media that ran with this story without any corroboration, that ran with this story without any fact-checking of their own, those same media organizations, so-called, like #NeverCNN, what a bunch of disgusting garbage people. Y'all know, some folks get upset at me because I use language like that. Do you understand why I get so angry about this? They treat us like we're dumb. And they don't believe in the ability of the people to choose our own leadership. This strikes at the heart of it. They never believed that we would pick Donald Trump. And we did. And they think they're so much better than you. They think they're so much better than me. They think they're so much better than Trump supporters that they decided, screw the Constitution, screw elections, screw our basic fabric of how our system of government is set up. They decided that we're so dumb that they're going to override our will as a people. And they're going to destroy this president that we just selected to be our commander-in-chief. And the media goes along with it. They know. They've always known. They know right now. It's why they're not covering it. ABC, CBS, NBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, hashtag Never CNN, those jerks over at MSNBC, and on it goes. They're not touching this story. Why? Can you imagine for a second what they would do with this story if it were Donald Trump's Department of Justice? If Donald Trump ordered his FBI director, if Donald Trump ordered his CIA director, if Donald Trump ordered his director of national intelligence, you go and you find me information that Joe Biden stole this election, and I don't give a damn where you get it from. That he directed the basic intelligence gathering agencies of the United States of America to rig an outcome. You don't think they'd cover that? Now, I understand that treason is a word that we don't throw around lightly. I don't know if you would call this treason. I mean, treason has a pretty specific definition in the I think it's you can fact check me on this, Jackson. Article 3, look up Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. Article 3, Section 3. Now, I'm not the constitutional scholar that some, I mean, obviously, Mark Levin is the man. But I think that's right. I think that's the treason article. You got it?
Yeah. Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution defines and outlines the parameters of treason.
Oh, I was right. You got it? Read it.
I do not have the actual.
Oh, okay, but that's what it does.
Let me find it.
All right, no, it is a specific definition that includes foreign nations. Well, I mean, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far you would go with this, but that's just the picking of nits. And I don't know how we survive as a nation if we don't demand more of some of these media outlets that are perverting and warping the minds of many, many American people. The idea that these snotty, egotistical, holier than thou, I'm better than you, deep state government bureaucrats like Clapper and Brennan and Comey and Obama and all of his other minions said, you know what? Screw democracy, screw the Constitution. We're going to put a wrench into these works, and we're going to filter it out to so many intelligence gathering individuals that it'll get to the media, and the media will pick it up, and they'll run with this ball. We'll know exactly what they're going to do with it, and they will make sure that this guy goes down in flames within 2 years. And we're supposed to just take it? We're supposed to just accept it? Like, oh, well, that's in the past, Murphy. Should there be no comeuppance? Donald Trump likes the idea of receipts. Donald Trump had a few things to say about it today.
No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him, and so was Sleepy Joe Biden, and so were the rest of them. Comey, Clapper, the whole group. And they tried to rig an election, and they got caught. And then they did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won the popular vote. But I won that all the same way in 2020. And look at the damage that was caused.
Look at the damage indeed. Your call's coming up 22 after the hour at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. One of my liberal listeners, well, I guess it's a liberal listener. I don't want to put a label on it, but 9104 says it's literally the first story on AP News. It's just not true. And I said, what is? And he included a link on AP, Associated Press. At one time, it was a trusted resource. And so I opened up this supposed story on the new information. Headline. And I asked my friend, 9104, you don't read the... Trump rehashes years-old grievances on Russia investigation after new intelligence report. President Trump rehashed long-standing grievances over the Russian investigation that shadowed much of his first term, lashing out Tuesday following a new report from his intelligence director aimed at casting doubt on long-established findings about Moscow's interference in the 2016 election. And then they go on to talk about Trump, and Trump was not making his claims for the first time, and the backward-looking inquiry taking place after the Republican administration's national security agencies are confronting global threats, and on it goes. And, Barack Obama's office has responded, and yada, yada, yada. Trump's tirade, they called it, a detour from his official business, unfolded against the backdrop of a new report from the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, that represented his administration's latest attempt to rewrite the history. No, it is to write the proper history, AP. The fact of the matter is this happened. They knew that Russian interference wasn't real. They knew the Steele dossier was phony. Just like they knew that Hunter Biden's laptop was real. The report downplayed the extent of Russian interference in the 2016 election. No, the report didn't. The actual information that was released in 2016 downplayed the information. Obama and his minions found that they received, it's as simple as this. Obama and his people received information, and it was not good enough. What they received on December 7th, the report that they were about to deliver was that the Russians did not affect the outcome of the election and that there was no direct connection. There was no connection between Donald Trump and Russia. That was the original report. And Obama told his intelligence people to go, quote, do better. And they relied on a Steele dossier that we all know about, right? Do I have to go over that part of this with you? That the FBI already knew was false. The FBI knew that that was false in late summer of 2016, into the fall of 2016. But they relied on it anyway to suggest that there was collusion between Trump and Russia. And there was none. No, this is not a rewriting of history. This is correcting the erroneous writing of what happened from the jump by organizations like the Associated Press. And it matters, y'all. It matters so much. And I'm not trying to beat the dead horse, even though it's more fun than you think, but it matters. Daniel's been holding a long time. I'll get to you, Daniel. Don't you worry. We got Mark from the Safe House coming up in a minute, too. 31 after the hour on Super Talk. Yes, indeed. Daniel, I'll get to you. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're winding down the show. About 20 more minutes to go, or a little after 20 more minutes to go. And it's good to talk with you. 615-737-9986. Hey, it's good to catch up with our man Mark over at the Safe House. He's calling in today. What's up, Mark? How are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing well. Just trying to stay cool in this hot weather.
Hey, how hot does it get there in the in the showroom on 4th Avenue South? Y'all got AC over there?
Some, but the safes out in the showroom like to stay a little warmer, so
Yeah.
we can't keep the air conditioning down too low.
I mean, but listen, the deals are hot too. That's what I was getting to, right? Those deals are pretty smoky.
They're very hot. Not just the temperatures. The deals on safes are hot. We got rebates on Browning, Liberty, and a couple other brands. Got Fort Knox. Got all the good safes on the market here at the Safe House. So.
I mean, I absolutely love it. How long are those Browning rebates going on? I mean, they're for the entire month at least, right?
Yeah, actually, Browning goes through August. So, and then Liberty's got some specials and stuff. We've got some just Safe House specials too. So people want to come by, and I had a guy that came by and bought a safe from me, and one of his buddies had bought a safe from a big box store, one of those fake safes, and he had his friend told him he had safe envy. So don't have safe envy.
Hey,
Buy a real safe from the safe house.
I always like to pick on Mark and tell him, you still just pick up people off the side of the road and let them deliver the safes, right? That's how you. Oh no, wait, that's the other guys that do that. You don't do that.
Well, we do work release from the local, penitentiaries. No crackheads delivering safes at the safe house.
No, you know everybody that. I mean, and people don't think about that, and I try to stress it when I talk about you.
Oh yeah.
When
no, that's very true. You need to trust the people who deliver your safes and stuff. So, and one thing we've been trying to really put a focus on is carrying U.S. made products. So we've got the largest selection of U.S. made safes in the state, I think. So.
Well, I encourage people, I mean, if they listen to me, go online, go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com, peruse online, but you got to go see them yourself, because what's impressive is I call it the safe maze. Because you'll walk through rows and rows and rows, and you think, man, this is more safes than anybody else on planet Earth has. And then Mark will tell you he's got like almost double that in his warehouse. So.
Yeah, well, come by and see me sometime, Matt. I got a little surprise for you if you come down to the shop. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to get back
and then take, everybody else come down and check out our specials too. But I got a little special Matt surprise if you come by. So.
Okay. Well, I'm on the way. I'm coming this week or no. Yeah, no, I might be able to get down this week, but I'm coming soon to see Mark at the Safe House. Listen, we love you guys. I know there's rebates galore going on. Just remind us, you got rebates on Browning and Liberty, did you say?
Browning and Liberty, and I got some specials on some Fort Knox and a few other brands in there too. So. And
don't forget, they got biometrics. They've also got those tornado structures, those shelters that people talk about. Yep. Yeah, and vault doors. If you're in the market, if you're building a house and you want a real secure deal, then go ask Mark about a vault door, because those are pretty cool too.
Just remember, we don't just sell safes. We sell peace of mind.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Hey, thanks for calling me, brother.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll come see you. Yes, sir. There's Mark from the Safe House joining us for a few minutes. Daniel is next up. Hey, Daniel, what's up, man?
Hey, not much, Matt. Just trying to stay cool like everybody else.
I'm glad you called, and I'm glad you waited. I apologize for the delay, but the floor is yours, sir.
Roger that. You had a caller earlier on that was talking about the tunnel in Boston. I'm originally from Boston. We called that the Big Fleece, because it was estimated to cost about $2.5 billion to do that. The final price tag was $24 billion. It took them 16 years to do it. It was a 60-40 split on the funding, 40% federal government, 60% taxpayers of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. My question is, if this is an over-budget drilling, you're going to go through limestone or whatever, any over-budget expenses incurred, that should stay in Nashville-Davidson County, and the rest of us that live outside of that county shouldn't be taxed for that.
So it is my understanding, and we don't have, like, all of this is based on what I'm hearing behind the scenes. All of this is based on what many of us are hearing. We could call them rumors, but I trust my two sources enough to relate it today that there is reportedly an announcement that's coming Monday about the nature of this agreement between the state and the boring company. But what I have been told today, and, take this for what it's worth, but what I was told today specifically by two separate sources, Daniel, is that this project is going to cost the taxpayers no money. There will be no taxpayer dollars involved in building the tunnel.
Well, that's what we were told living in Massachusetts.
I don't think the Big Dig. No, I don't think that's true. The Big Dig was always a government project.
That was a big fleece. And
well, again, I understand that, but you understand what I'm saying.
Well, hold on, Matt. The primary funders, since I lived there and experienced it, the primary funders of the Big Fleece, the Big Dig, was the taxpayers of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I understand that.
It was from federal funding, but the federal funding was nothing compared to what us taxpayers of the Commonwealth had to pay for.
Daniel, I understand that. I agree with you. Listen to what I'm saying. This is not a taxpayer-funded project. It is a privately funded project, wholly, 100%. So any overruns are going to be footed by the boring company. There's no taxpayer money going into this project.
I'm not really feeling it because we know how the boneheaded mayor of Nashville is, and
the mayor, it's my understanding, has nothing to do with this project as it exists today.
Well, take the example of the Boston Big Fleece, and just keep that in the back of your minds. Again,
well, why can't we take an example like the boring company did in Las Vegas just a couple of years ago, as an example?
Why can't we recognize the one in Boston? Why does it have to be somewhere else?
Because Boston's was a government project from the beginning. It was engaged by and it was instituted with government money. It was always a government project between the federal and the state and the local community. Am I right?
The taxpayers of the Commonwealth funded 60% of it. The federal government chipped in 40%.
Right. And that
was a 16-year project that had a price tag of $24 billion.
Right. And what I'm telling you is, if my information's correct, we'll see on Monday, that the proposal being made by the boring company is that the boring company will engage in this dig with its own money, and it will recoup the cost of the dig through the fees that it charges to use the tunnel.
How many other competitors have put in a bid? I mean, there's no bid.
What do you mean there's a bid? There's no bid.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Has anybody else gotten any estimates, or are we just going with what somebody said and let them fund it all, and we just sit back and say, all right, have at it, it's all yours? What
cost do you I'm telling you there's no cost, so why would we have to bid something out if there's no cost to the taxpayers?
No, you're probably right. I'm skeptical when somebody says that it costs nothing to you. I'm a little skeptical about that.
Okay, so do you understand how privately funded toll roads work?
Yes, I do.
Same concept.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens when this gets all explained out.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, and I don't mean to be. It's just I don't think there's a comparison between a government project and what's being proposed here. And I understand the big dig was just, I mean, you were there. It just was horrible for everybody.
Oh, it was horrible. It was a joke, rerouting roads to, dead-end roads. And then you had the ceiling part of that tunnel falling in.
Collapsed, didn't it?
Yeah. People's vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of it was collapsing. So now you have a quality issue. You have, God knows what are the weather issues. But, I guess I'll believe it when I see it. Anybody that comes and says, "Hey, it's not going to cost you anything," I'm always skeptical because the fine print. There's always something else. But I'm just like I said, I'm just giving an example. The people of Nashville and Davidson County can do whatever they want because I don't live in that county. But just look at all these.
Yeah, well, it would extend. I mean, is there? I guess the airport's in Davidson. It's not. It was so. Just think of it as I'm going to build something that people want to use, and I'm going to charge people to use it. And then I'm going to pay back the cost of building it based on the amount that I charge for people to use it. That's
How about
all.
we work on the airport and quit making that a zoo and like a pain in the rear end to get in and out of? Let's work on that. Let's simplify that first.
Well, I think I hope that they're closer than to conclusion than they were to the beginning. But yeah, it's a mess. I drive by it every day. It's a mess. No question about it. Thank you, Daniel, for the call. I don't mean to be mean-spirited with Dan. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to Daniel. I do appreciate the call. He held for a long, long time. It's just there's only so much. You can't compare this to a state-run project. It's not going to be an open tunnel for people to drive their own vehicles into. It is going to be a private tunnel constructed with private dollars. Unless I am misunderstanding the project, and I don't think I am, it will be a privately owned tunnel that the tunnel people get permission from the state to use state easement. Whatever private property they have to go under, they'll get permission or they'll buy the right to use that private property. They build the tunnel with their money, and then they charge an amount of money for you to use a Tesla vehicle to go from the airport to downtown. And it would be, one would imagine, comparable to what it would cost you to get an Uber from the airport to downtown, except you have the convenience of going through the tunnel, which we are told will take less time. And maybe it'll cost less money. Maybe it won't. I don't know. They will figure out whatever that price point is based on the amount of people that they have in the tunnel and the amount of money that the project costs to begin with. But, I mean, Boston, the Big Dig in Boston was always a government project. And my man Daniel knows more about it if you live there than I do. But, I mean, I've seen the documentaries on it. It was an absolute boondoggle. And there's no question about that. But I think the confusion came in when Daniel's like, well, yeah, but who's going to pay for overrun? Nobody. The private company pays for any of the overruns on cost. They're incentivized to keep the cost down as a result. Lee is next. Hello, Lee.
Hey, sorry, I was just I got cut off earlier somehow. I was just listening to all these people complaining about the damn tunnel under the water, and Nashville's not. I don't think Nashville's going to have to pay for it, are they?
If my information's correct, no. It's a privately funded venture.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, eat on me. If you don't want to ride it, don't get on it.
That's right.
I would love to have a quicker route to go from an airport to the venue I wanted to go to. Sorry, I live 60 miles north of Nashville, so it's not that hard for me. But, think about people that live in California coming to Nashville. Or Travago's got a commercial about a bunch of Asian people coming over here to Nashville. I think it's a great thing for y'all.
Well, I mean, hope so. I mean, we'll see, Lee. I've got to scoot. I've got a quick break to take, and then we've got one more segment. 1221 says, anybody that tells you there's no cost on a project like that is lying. There ain't nothing free. Well, of course there's a cost. This is free market capitalism, guys. That it just doesn't involve government money. It's infrastructure that doesn't involve government money. But it's not infrastructure in the sense that you'll be able to drive your car on it. It's like Jackson and I develop a product and we buy a piece of property and we build an outlet and we sell our product to the people. Well, who's paying for that? Well, we're paying for that.
What are we selling?
We're selling widgets.
The little fidget toys?
Oh, yeah. Little spinners.
Ooh, I loved a fidget spinner.
I do, too. We got a new design on one. And we're going to sell the hell out of them once we get our store open. But we got to come up with the money to open the store first. And thankfully, I'm Mr. Moneybags. So I'm throwing in the capital. You're going to man the store. We're going to sell widgets. And we're going to bring ourselves to profitability by paying off our nut. And then and the rest is, I mean, I don't understand who doesn't understand this. That's the way the free market works without government interference. It's just in this space, it's working for transportation. 52 after the hour, Super Talk. Lord, I thank all of y'all for participating on the show today. It's been a wild one. Interesting breaking news involving the Nashville metropolitan area, the B&A airport, the possibility of some new breaking stuff happening Monday. That's our understanding. We'll keep you up to date on all of that as the week continues to progress and into next week. We already, by the way, I should let you know we've got a few guests tomorrow on the show. 7th Congressional District candidate Jody Barrett will be on the show with us at 5 o'clock. That is in conjunction with Cameron Smith being here. Obviously, Cameron's here just about every day. There's somebody else that's coming in earlier. I can't remember who that is. I guess I should write these things down, Jackson, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah, probably so. But then I do know on Thursday, our good friend Debbie Matthews is going to stop by in the early hour, the 3 o'clock hour. Also, on Thursday, we've got some very special young folk who are interning with Senator Mark Pody. Skylar is one of them, and I don't remember the other girl's name, and I apologize to her. I've got it somewhere. But Skylar's one, and another guest. They are interning with Senator Mark Pody, and they have announced a Young Republicans event that's coming up that they invited me to speak at next month, and they'll be here to talk about that on Thursday. And then Friday, in addition to Fry J, Representative Afton Bain, the cutest little communist in Tennessee, will join us on the program to talk about her bid for the 7th Congressional District at 3:30. Cannot wait for that. Or thereabouts. About 3. Actually, she's at 3 o'clock. I rarely have guests to start off the show, but that's when she needed to do it. And I certainly am appreciative of it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Andy Ogles will be with us tomorrow. So that's just a full lineup for the rest of the week. There you go. All right, for Ken Weaver back in News Closet B, Jackson Williams controlling the experience. I am Matt Murphy. Mark Levin is up next. Thank you for being a part of the show today. We so appreciate you. Do me a favor. Hug your loved ones, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long.